Hey everyone, welcome to Crafting with JC, where I share creative and affordable DIY projects for every season. Today I'm going to be sharing more amazing spring-themed Dollar Tree DIYs. So let's get started. For this project, I'm going to be using a couple frames from Dollar Tree, as well as this beautiful floral fabric from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to start with a larger frame. I turn it over and I remove the backing board and the little cardboard inside. I'm going to cut the fabric to fit inside the frame, and so I used that cardboard as a template. So I cut out the fabric. Unfortunately, I did not pay attention to the direction of the pattern and I didn't position it correctly. I wanted the frame to stand vertically, not horizontally, so I had to recut it. There's a white foam around the frame, which I removed. I also won't be using the glass. Now that backing board is quite flimsy, so I glue that additional cardboard to strengthen it up. You can also replace that with a more sturdy foam board as well. And then I hot glue the fabric onto the board, making sure it's lying completely flat. I turn it over and I just trim out that excess fabric. I pop the fabric in the frame and close it up. Because I'm not putting the glass back in, there's going to be a little extra room in the back, so you can leave it, which I did, or you can fill it up with another layer of cardboard or secure it with a little bit of hot glue. But wow, look at that. I really love the fabric against the gold. For the smaller white frame, I'm going to be using this home sign left over from my last video. This Dollar Tree plank, which I cut in half for a prior project, and some scrap burlap. I placed the backing board on top of the burlap, and then I cut that amount out. I'm going to glue the burlap on the board. There's some black metal popping out of it, so I just paint over that with some matching acrylic paint to conceal it. I place the burlap on top and hot glue it in place. To get the home sign to fit on the plank, I cut it in half, and then I just touch up the areas needed with some black acrylic paint. I paint the plank with some leftover sample paint that I have. This is Sea Frost from Glidden. It's a beautiful light tone gray. I trim out the excess burlap, and then I place that back in the frame and I secure the tabs. And then I glue the home sign in place, placing the letters vertically with the HO on top and the ME on the bottom. I add some hot glue to the back of the plank and place that right in the center of the burlap frame. Alright, and that is it for this DIY. I'm really happy with how these frames turned out. They look so beautiful together and they really complement each other well. So for this project, I'm going to be making a super cute spring wooden bead garland. I wanted to have different sizes and textures of wood to really make the garland pop. I'll be using the square bead garland from Dollar Tree along with some round beads. These are 2 different sizes and I got these on Amazon. And I will also be using these round wood slices from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to be drilling a hole right through the wood slices. Instead of holding them directly, I'm going to hold them with this clamp, and with a small drill bit, I'm using a 1/8 inch. I drill through the wood. You really don't want to go too thick with the drill bit, otherwise the wood may crack. And I'm going to drill through 5 of these. I will be using the string from the square garland, so I untie the ends and remove the beads. I'll be attaching a tassel on one end of the garland. I wrap some jute twine around my glue bottle, which is the size that I want. You can also just wrap it around your hand as well, and I wrap it about 20 times. I slide it out, and then on top I place a lace ribbon, which I'll trim down later. I cut out a piece of jute string and I tie a couple knots on top. And then I flip the knot over so that the knot is hidden. Then I tie the end of the string from the garland around the top loop as well, leaving a couple inches of the shorter end. You can trim that out, but I'll be concealing it later. Then I cut the bottom loop like so. I take a small strip of the ribbon and I hot glue that around the top of the tassel about 1 inch from the top. And then I just trim the bottom of the tassel so that everything is even. I'm going to paint the wood slices with some green acrylic paint. This is grass green from Folk Art. I really don't want it to be too opaque, but more like a wash, so I dilute the paint with a little bit of water. On the other end, I'm going to be tying this wooden carrot from Dollar Tree. I'll be using this orange acrylic paint from Dollar Tree, and I mute it down with a little bit of light gray. As I'm brushing this on, I kind of didn't like how thin the wood was, so I decided to thicken it up by gluing another carrot to it. You can actually glue 3 together. I think that would have looked even better. Then I paint the top of the carrot green, a beautiful olive color. I give it a little sanding with a fine grit sanding sheet all over to dull down the paint and especially the edges. Once that is done, it's time to put everything together. I string through the beads, kind of alternating with the round and the square, and then spacing out the slices evenly. I tie the carrot on the end, concealing that extra string inside the beads, which you can also just snip off. And with that, our garland is complete. I'm really happy with how it turned out, especially with the different shapes. I love it. I always love making little wooden trays or crates, so for this spring-themed DIY, I grabbed a couple of these little wooden bunnies from Dollar Tree. This plank, which I trimmed down to 9 inches, it was originally 12 inches, and 6 bamboo sticks, which I purchased on Amazon. I add some glue on the ends of the plank, and then I adhere the wooden bunnies on each end like so. For extra support and strength, I glue a tumbling block on each corner. I'm going to glue 3 bamboo sticks on each side, going along with the curve of the bunny. So I measure and mark them and trim them with my miter shears. Then I glue them on the sides, spacing them out evenly. To make sure there's enough space to place some candles or little pots or vases, I make sure not to glue the bamboo sticks too close to the bottom or the top. I glue them on both sides, and look how adorable this looks. This actually looks really beautiful with just the raw bare wood. You can definitely just seal it with some protective finish and you're all done. But I wanted to add some stain to it to give it a rustic finish. I'm using Early American from Varathane. If you are going to be staining, make sure to give it a little sanding, especially around the sides, because that area is a little rough and it's going to soak up a lot of stain. You can also paint the bamboo a different color or add some stenciling on the bunny or even Mod Podge some beautiful spring napkins onto them. But in the end, I really love how this turned out. When I was at Dollar Tree, I was looking for a metal bunny wreath frame, but my store didn't have it. So instead, I grabbed this tinsel-wrapped bunny, and I will be wrapping the bunny with this jute cord. So I'm going to remove the white tinsel. It's actually really easy to take out because it's not glued. It's just wrapped around these plastic tabs, so it does come out quite easily without any hassle. And underneath is a plastic frame of a bunny. I'm going to remove the middle portion of the frame, and I'm using these diagonal pliers to cut through the plastic. I tried with scissors, but it was just taking a little too long to cut through, so this worked pretty well. I also trimmed off those plastic tabs that were sticking out. And then I just start wrapping. I start with the ears, and I add a little hot glue on the top, and then I just wrap it all the way down, adding a dab of hot glue here and there to secure it in place. Now once I get to the top of the bunny head, I wrap it and then I snip off the cord and hot glue it on the back. And then I wrap the other ear the exact same way. Of course, you can really start anywhere, but you just want to make sure to cover the plastic frame. And I'm loving how this is looking already. I'm going to embellish with the stems of mini flowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue them around the bottom portion or the bunny face. So I just bend the stems to match the shape, and then I place them down and secure it with a little bit of hot glue. Now I really like it just like that with these little flowers. It's very simple and beautiful, but you can definitely embellish with some more flowers and add a bow to it as well. And then I just attach a ribbon to hang. And that's it. This adorable DIY is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these quick and easy spring DIYs. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my new videos. Until next time, bye!